and welcome to today's video tutorial. My name is Sonja Chandler, and I have a business called Socks On A Rooster here in Nashville, Tennessee, where I do furniture refinishing and decor refinishing. So before we get started today with the instruction, go ahead and put your name down in the comments. We love when you do that, and we like to greet you. And also, if you will tag a few friends, we're going to be giving away one of the products that I'll be using today, which is one-step paint, pigment powder, and some wax. So I'm going to show you how to be using those today on a particular project that I've been looking forward to doing. So today's project is, you can use it for your holiday decor, and you can also set it up to where you'll be able to use it all throughout the year. But what I have done here over a period of time is collected a set of varying candlesticks. Now, usually when I'm in the antique mall or at the thrift store, I look for candlesticks that I like the design of. And I find many that the design is really beautiful. I really like that candlestick, but I'm not really happy with the finish. And you can find lots of these out there in the thrift stores, and there's a reason why they're there. People have grown tired of the old finish. Normally, a lot of them are brown in color. I have one here today that's silver. But what I'm going to do today with this grouping, these six, is even though they're all very different, they do have a certain detail to them that kind of looks alike, but I'm going to unify them and make them look as if they all go together, so that they're more of a statement piece on my dining room table or on a sofa table, a buffet table. You'll be able to use them, and with the candles, it'll look like they were all meant to go together. So you may have candlesticks at home that you've grown tired of and you might want to change them up, or when you're out shopping and you're antiquing, you can look for things like this and know that even though they're different, when you try this technique and you give them all the same finish, they will look great together. So let me get started on this and I will show you how.
Okay guys, so as you can see, I have all of my different candlesticks all laid out here. I have cleaned them with clean slate, and you can do that. These were all resin. There wasn't anything with wood or wax, so you could just use soap and water, but I cleaned mine with clean slate just to be safe. Now, here I am. The very first step in unifying all of these candlesticks is to lay down one base paint color across all of them, and I'm using One Step in Palace Gray, one of my favorite beautiful bluish gray hues of One Step. Now you can see here I'm taking some baby wipes, and what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm wiping away my One Step paint away from those gold leafed areas. When I find pieces, I may like the gold or the metallic gold leaf finish, but I don't like the brown finish. So you can remedy that by, when you lay down your color of paint that you're going to be using to change that brown, you can just wipe away in those areas. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to see remnants, so to speak, of that gold detail finish. And every one of these candlesticks actually had a little bit of detail of gold or metallic on some of its trim. The only one that didn't is the silver candlestick, and I'm going to show you how I fixed that. But here I am moving in with another style of candlestick. So although it's completely different and it doesn't match the other ones, I'm going to fix that by giving it the same finish, going in with my base coat here of One Step. So the Palace Gray, I just did one coat. There I am going in and wiping away with my baby wipe some of that Palace Gray, and I'm revealing the gold finish. So you're just going to do this across the board with every one of these candlesticks. And If you wanted to add more gold to some of the other ones, those two shorter candlesticks there that I first painted, they had a little bit more gold leaf to them, but ultimately it won't matter that much. So the only thing I really did here to fix this solid silver one was, as you can see, I added some gold leaf. And so that's all on there, and it matches this gold leaf as well as the gold trim on some of the other ones. And I just fix that. So here I am with the next step, which is I'm going to use a different color of One Step, and I'm going to pour it into just a paper plate here. And what I did here is I made an applicator, because when you buy a bag of seawool sponges, you'll have many different varieties, but the one that I needed to use, I had already used and had run out of that particular style. But I'm going to show you a picture here of the, I call it an octopus applicator that I make out of just a square of t-shirt, and it does very much the same thing. So as you can see here, is if you use that applicator, it basically has these little tentacles, and you dip those down into your paint, and when you lay them onto your base coat of Palace Gray, it will give you a marbled effect, as you can see there. And you're not going to get that look with any other applicator. So as you can see there, I've slowed it down, and you can see those long tendrils that when you lay that paint on, it's going to give it a marbled effect. Now, I'm going to share a little secret with you here. As I was applying my Chelsea Square, which is my top color over my Palace Gray, when I got some distance between me and those candlesticks, I realized really I had put too much of the Chelsea Square color on, and I really wanted more of my Palace Gray to show through. I thought I was going to want them to be lighter, but I thought, no, when I use the final product on these, I really want that Palace Gray to be the main color. So what I did after I put this Chelsea Square on is I went back in with a clean applicator, the same applicator, and I just added more of my gray. And you'll see that when I go on to the next step. But ultimately, I wanted my final finish that I put on with wax and pigment powder, I wanted that to be to contrast more so with the gray. So once I got all of this Chelsea Square on, I did go in and add more of my Palace Gray, and you can do this when you're working on projects. Your eye will tell you that that's not exactly what I was hoping for. That wasn't the look I was going for, and that's great. That's part of the creative process. You can say, I'm going to take a moment and add more of this color in. That's all about how painters do it. This is how we achieve the looks we want to achieve. It's also how you learn how to repeat finishes again and again and know exactly what you're going to do the next time. So here I am, and as you can see, I was being really heavy with that color. But you'll see when I tilt this candlestick sideways, but as I'm applying my wax, I added a lot more of the gray. So here I am with my puck of light antiquing wax, and I'm just going across with my light antiquing wax, and I'm getting that wax down into my crevices. I'm doing a very light brushing. I don't need a very heavy application of this. But you're going to let that dry. I'm feeling around here to see if I didn't miss any areas. And you're going to let that dry for a few minutes. I'm fanning it here with a piece of cardboard. But you're going to want your wax to dry to a point where it feels tacky. It's going to come to tack, T-A-C-K. And it's not going to be wet. You're not going to be able to slide your fingers around on it, but it's going to be somewhat sticky. So here I am, and I'm going in with what is a pigment powder. This is the color Pompeii Gray, and it looks beautiful against that Palace Gray. They're two totally different tones of gray, but here's my secret. I take my hands, and when you rub that dry Pompeii gray powder into that wax that has come to tack, you get a very specific old world look. It looks worn. It looks like it is aged over time, and that candlestick lends itself to a very old world finish. You can see there how the Pompeii gray, which is a little bit lighter when you put it on, will darken when it is embedded into that wax, so to speak. And that's what I'm doing here. Don't be afraid to take your hands and rub that pigment powder down into those waxy areas. You're going to get a beautiful finish. You can also take a rag right there, like a clean lint-free rag, and I just buff it, and you can get all of the excess dust off. And what you're going to get is these beautiful candlesticks that all are unified and go together. Now here I have displayed them on a buffet table with some Christmas greenery, and I've put them on different risers, some old antique silver serving containers. But you could run these down the center of your holiday dining room table with greenery at their original heights, and they would be beautiful. So you can use them in several areas. Another thing is that if you are a shop owner or you are a booth owner and you are making these to resell them, these can be merchandised all together, and people can buy one or two of them and they will go together. They will look like a set even though they have different styles. So I hope you have enjoyed this video today. If you have any questions whatsoever, just ask them in the comments, and I will get back to you and answer those questions for you. So thank you for watching today, and I hope you will try this project for yourself. They turned out beautifully, and it was exactly what I was trying to do, unifying 6 different styles of candlesticks to all look as if they make one beautiful holiday statement piece. Thanks so much, and Merry Christmas.